Hey, this is Andrew bringing you another Keyforge deck review. This one is Painter Ripper. It is the second of 3 decks that I got in a trade with Jupiter from Fifth Planet. And this one I'm really excited about. I went hunting for this and then I happened to see that it was his and thought, hey, that's somebody I like dealing with. So let me see if I can. I already have an order, trade going with him, so I'll see if I can get this added in the shipment. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It fills out a particular role that I was really interested, or role or archetype that I really wanted, but hadn't gotten anything in that genre. And it does it really well, and it has very good support for that. So you'll come around to it. It was really the Untamed is what I was looking for. But the way that the Logos sets up the Untamed and that the Dees creates space for it is really amazing, and it's very impressive. So, all right, let's get into it. So we'll start with the Dees. We have a Rise. Choose a house, return each creature of that house from your discard pile to your hand, and gain a chain. Control the Weak. Gain an Amber, pick a house. Your opponent has to play that house on their next turn. One of the houses on their card. Gateway to Dees, destroy all the creatures, gain 3 chains. By the way, the obvious thing here is if you gateway a Rise, you get board control, right? You're playing all your Dees creatures back out, and they don't get any until the next turn, of course. Dominator Bauble, it's an artifact that can exhaust to use a friendly creature. Very nice. Lash Your Broken Dreams, this is a really important Amber control. It can exhaust to make your opponent's keys cost +3 during their next turn. Charette, also good Amber control, 4 power demon. When you play it, it captures 3. Dust Imp is a 2 power imp. When it's destroyed, it gains 2. That's going to help you gain Amber. Snudge is a 4 power demon that after it fights or reaps, you return an artifact or flank creature to its owner's hand. That is serious artifact control there. It's also really good board control. If you don't have to worry about artifacts, you can shove creatures back into the opponent's hand, and that's a pretty good deal. Sometimes you want to put your own creature back into your hand, like maybe you have a Charette that's not loaded up because you played it early. You can snudge it and play it back out. I had one game I was playtesting this online, and the Lash got Sneckliftered, so I snudged it back into my hand because it goes into the owner's hand, and then played it back out. So really, really good things you can get done there. Succubus is a 3 power demon that says during their draw card step, your opponent refills their hand to 1 less card. Very strong card control there. Tentacus is a 5 power demon that says your opponents have to pay you an Amber in order to use an artifact. I love this if the opponent has like a Lash out, because it's like, hey, yeah, you can use the Lash, you can increase my key cost to 9, but you're going to have to pay me 1 in order to do it. So it makes things like that much less attractive to them. Color of Subordination says you control this creature. Very, very nice. This actually can be quite clutch. Fun stuff. I had a game where an opponent used one of these on my creatures. I used it back on theirs. And the way it works, it's the last one that was played that actually matters. So, cool shenanigans there. And then lastly in Dees, a Flame Wreath. It's an upgrade with a bonus Amber that gives a creature +2 power and Hazardous 2, which can be pretty good, especially on something like a Snudge or maybe Charette, Tentacus, Succubus. Having a 5 power Succubus with Hazardous 2 is, that's prohibitive. By the way, I haven't had this work out yet, but Dominator Bauble, Color of Subordination can actually be pretty interesting. Potentially you can color something and use it that turn regardless of what house it's in, which could be pretty cool. I haven't had it work out that way, but it's a cool idea. All right, Remote Access. So we're in Logos territory now. By the way, we saw soft artifact control, solid temporary artifact control, more artifact control here with Remote Access. Gain an Amber, use an opponent's artifact as if it were yours. We have 2 Wild Wormholes here. That's going to make our deck go pretty fast. Gain an Amber, play the top card of your deck. The one thing you have to watch out for is, I'm hoping I don't get like Gateway at the wrong time, but almost anything else I'm pretty happy with. Arise really early would be bad, but anything else I'm going to be okay with. Library of Babel, it's a location artifact that exhausts to draw a card. Spectral Tunneler, gain an amber when you play it. It's an artifact that exhausts to, it's an item by the way, but it exhausts to have you choose a creature for the remainder of the turn. That creature is considered to be a flank creature and it gains reap, draw a card. This could actually matter in this game, in this deck, because of what we see coming into Untamed. The flank part anyway, usually I just like it for the extra draw, which is a pretty good deal. Bat Drone is a 2-power robot with skirmish that says fight, steal 1. That's a little bit of amber control in the logos even, although he's usually a pretty high priority target. We have 3 Ganymede Archivists, and that means we might actually get to use them. I usually prioritize killing these, but these actually have a shot at getting used. It's a 3-power human scientist. After it reaps, you archive a card. And a really cool deal with this is to Spectral Tunneler it, because at that point you're going to draw a card and then archive a card. So it turns, it turns it even to an even better card. But it's a great card already. We have Quixo, who's a 3-power human scientist with skirmish. After he fights, you draw a card. And we have a couple of Titan Mechanics, which is a 6-power cyborg scientist that says while it's on a flank, each key costs -1. That means if you have 1 on each flank, keys cost 4, which is pretty ridiculous. If you ask me, that can make a game go fast, one way or the other. Need to be careful there. And yeah, you could potentially have a situation where you Spectral Tunneler a Titan Mechanic, and then and then you'd have to Wild Wormhole a key cheat, which is actually pretty unlikely, but could happen if you the one time out of 1,000 that you end up there, it'll matter. Okay, Lost in the Woods is an action with a bonus amber. You choose 2 friendly creatures and 2 enemy creatures. Shuffle each chosen creature into its owner's deck. Seems pretty balanced on the face of it. The thing is you get to choose, so hopefully you can pick 2 of your creatures that are really nice to play and 2 of your opponent's creatures that are slow and annoying to have to play out again. Nature's Call gives you a bonus amber, lets you return up to 3 creatures to their owner's hands. Again, better if we have creatures with nice play effects, or shove creatures into our opponent's hand that have no play effects and are slow. Slow meaning they want to reap or something, and your opponent doesn't have a way to use them on the turn they play them. Nocturnal Maneuver gives us a bonus amber and exhausts up to 3 creatures. Good soft board control there. Perilous Wild destroys each elusive creature and gains you a bonus amber. You'll notice we don't have any elusive creatures so far. We have 2 coming up, but we just don't have a lot. Chota Hazri is a 3-power human witch. After you play it, you lose an amber, and if you do, you can forge a key at current cost. That is pretty good. That is a good target for things like Lost in the Woods, Nature's Call, and Arise. Couple of Dew Fairies here. That's a 2-power fairy with elusive. After it reaps, you gain 1. That means you gain 2 total if it reaps. That is a pretty good deal. Yeah, and these are the only elusive cards in the game. So the Perilous Wilds is, even if it kills these, it's not that huge of a deal. Of course, if these get left on the board, we're just going to run away with the game. Then we have 3 Dust Pixies. That is insane. So Dust Pixie is a 1-power fairy, but gives you 2 bonus amber. So this is also a really good target for Nature's Call or Lost in the Woods, either one. You can imagine a turn where you play 3 of these, and I don't know, you already have an amber. Play the Chota Hazri, you forge, Nature's Call, for these, and play them out again for another 6 amber, and you're on check. Or if you have enough amber, play 2 of them and another Chota Hazri to forge a second time on the same turn. So pretty crazy stuff that can happen. I managed to have one game where I was playtesting online and managed to use the Ganymede Archivists to archive like 4 or 5 Untamed cards. And finally my opponent got to a point where I had good board state in both Dees and Logos, so he controlled the weak for Untamed, and so I just finished off the game that turn, which is pretty rough. So I mean, he was a good sport about it, but but it was pretty crazy. So cool stuff that can happen there. A couple more decent cards here. We have Witch of the Eye, which is a 3-power human witch with Reap. Return a card from your discard pile to your hand. I mean, if I can do that and get back an Arise. By the way, Arise on Untamed means you're going to get to forge the next turn, probably. Witch of the Eye, you know, can be used to return like a Lost in the Woods or a Nature's Call or a Chota Hazri or something for pretty impressive effect. And the last one we have here is Way of the Bear. It's an upgrade with a bonus amber, and it gives a creature Assault 2. And that's not too impressive, but use it on like maybe a Titan Mechanic or Quixo. That's pretty cool. Maybe use it on the Snudge, would be a good one. And you can get some cool stuff done. So it's pretty crazy. In running it so far, it's just very fast. It slows your opponent down a bit with the Dees setup, can turn some of their own stuff against them. It goes really fast and sets up with Logos and then just burns the game with Untamed. And very, very fun to play, very exciting. And I'm excited about that. This is one I am definitely considering taking to the Las Vegas Vault Tour. I won't post this video until after that. I'll queue it up. But definitely considering taking this to the Vault Tour, as I really think this is one that, even amidst other good decks, gets looked at and just benched. So that means I can bring 2 other decks and probably get to play them. Anyway, that was Painter Ripper. I hope you enjoyed walking through this with me. I'd love to play with some people online some more, so I'll probably see you around and maybe play test it a bit. If you want to try running, you think you have like a control deck or a really fast deck that can, you know, beat this, I'm really happy to test it against you, and we'll work something out. Thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed this. I certainly did, and until next time, happy forging.